Apples. Everyone grows it, everyone knows it, but honestly, there are 25 fruits sitting quietly in backyards and forests around the world that absolutely embarrass the apple in production. Let me show you all of them. But real quick before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button because we find forgotten plants every single week that most people walk right past. Now, let's begin. Number 1, mulberry. Okay, so mulberry, this one always gets me. One mature tree drops around 30 pounds of fruit in a season. Your average apple tree? About 20. And mulberry starts producing in just 2 years, grows in almost any soil, and honestly asks for very little in return. How to plant it at home? It needs full sun, well-draining soil, hole twice the width of the roots, water deeply once a week for the first month, and then just leave it alone. It does its thing. Number 2, fig. Here's why fig is unfair to the apple. It fruits twice a year, summer and autumn. One tree, 2 harvests, up to 50 pounds total. The apple gets 1 shot. Fig gets 2. How to plant it at home? Find the sunniest spot you have. Figs actually love a wall behind them for reflected heat, a well-draining soil, and it also needs moderate watering. And here's the counterintuitive bit. Slight water stress actually makes them fruit harder. Don't baby it. Number 3, elderberry. Elderberry is one of those plants people overlook completely, and I genuinely don't understand why. One mature bush gives you 12 to 15 pounds per season, and plant 2 together for cross-pollination, and that number jumps significantly. How to plant it at home? It needs moist, well-draining soil, full to partial sun, space them about 6 feet apart, cut back by 1/3 every spring, and watch it explode with new growth. When the berries go deep purple-black, they're ready. Number 4, gooseberry. Gooseberry is quietly one of the most reliable producers in cold climates, places where apple trees are already struggling just to survive. 10 to 15 pounds per bush every single season without much fuss. How to plant it at home? It needs rich, well-draining soil, full sun for sweetness, although partial shade still works fine. Here's the pruning secret. Keep the center of the bush open so air moves through. Fruit comes on 2- and 3-year-old wood, so never strip all the older branches out. Number 5, passion fruit. And there is passion fruit. One vine, one single vine on your fence, produces somewhere between 200 and 300 fruits per year at full maturity. I know that sounds like a lot, but that's genuinely just what this plant does. Nothing the apple produces comes anywhere close to that number. How to plant it at home? Plant it in sunny fence or strong trellis with good airflow. It climbs fast and gets heavy, so the support needs to be solid. Water regularly, never waterlog the roots. High potassium feed monthly during growing season. Give it 12 to 18 months and it rewards you heavily. Number 6, strawberry. Here's what makes strawberry different from everything else on this list. It multiplies itself. One plant sends out runners that create up to 120 daughter plants within 3 years. Every daughter fruits the following season. The apple just sits there. Strawberry builds you an entire farm. How to plant it at home? You need raised beds or containers with excellent drainage, 12 inches between plants, remove runners year 1 to build strong roots. From year 2, let them spread freely. Replace plants every 3 years to keep production strong. Number 8, black currant. 10 pounds of fruit per bush per season, and the real magic is how easily it propagates. One bush becomes 10 within 2 years from simple cuttings you just push into the ground. Your production multiplies for 0 cost. How to plant it at home? It needs rich, moisture-retentive soil and full sun. When you first plant it, cut it back hard, leaving just 3 inches above ground. It looks completely wrong, but produces far stronger growth. Fruit comes on the previous year's wood, so prune thoughtfully. Number 9, kiwi. A mature kiwi vine produces 50 to 100 pounds of fruit per year, one vine. And once it's established, it just keeps going. Some kiwi vines are documented producing heavily for 50 years or more. The apple simply doesn't have that kind of endurance. How to plant it at home? You need 1 male and 1 female plant. Both are essential for fruit. Build or buy a very sturdy trellis because mature vines get seriously heavy. Full sun is non-negotiable. Slow to start, but incredibly rewarding long-term. Number 10, lemon. A mature lemon tree produces around 200 lemons per year outdoors. Even a container tree indoors gives you 50 to 100 fruits. When you count fruits rather than weight, no apple tree on earth keeps up with that. How to plant it at home? Find the largest pot you can find, citrus-specific compost, monthly citrus fertilizer. Lemons hate cold drafts, so if you're growing indoors, keep them away from windows in winter. Water when the top inch of soil feels dry. Never let it fully dry out. Number 11, raspberry. Get an ever-bearing raspberry variety and you get fruit twice, summer and again in autumn. A well-established row produces 10 to 12 pounds per 10-foot stretch per season, and they spread underground, creating new free canes every year without you doing anything. How to plant it at home? You need rich soil, full sun, simple wire support for the canes. Summer varieties fruit on last year's wood. Never cut those until after harvest. Autumn varieties fruit on new wood. Cut everything to ground level every February for maximum production. Number 12, pomegranate. This one is extraordinary. A mature pomegranate produces 200 to 300 fruits per season and lives for over 200 years. The older it gets, the more it produces. It is genuinely one of the most long-term productive fruit plants ever documented anywhere in the world. To plant it at home, you need full sun, well-draining, slightly alkaline soil. Drought-tolerant once established, water deeply but not frequently. Thrives in large containers. Give it 3 years and it starts rewarding you for the rest of your life. Number 13, blueberry. 6 to 8 pounds per bush per season, and a blueberry bush lives for 50 years with minimal care. Plant 6 bushes, which easily fit a small garden, and you're harvesting 40 to 50 pounds of premium fruit every year, effortlessly. How to plant it at home? This is the one fruit that absolutely needs acidic soil. pH should be between 4.5 and 5.5. Test first. Add sulfur or use ericaceous compost if needed. At least 2 varieties for cross-pollination. They grow beautifully in large pots, too. Number 13, moringa. Moringa is called the miracle tree, and honestly, the name is earned. It starts producing edible pods within 8 months of planting, and a mature tree yields up to 1,000 pods per year. And every single part of the tree is edible. Leaves, pods, flowers, seeds, everything. How to plant it at home? Seeds go directly into ground after last frost. In warm climates, it grows up to 15 feet in year 1. In cold climates, use the largest possible pot and bring it indoors for winter. Cut back by half each spring. It responds with explosive new growth. Number 14, grape. 15 to 30 pounds of fruit per vine per season, and a grapevine can remain productive for over 100 years. Ancient vines are actually documented producing heavier yields than young ones. The older it gets, the better it gets. How to plant it at home? It needs a south-facing wall or sturdy trellis, a sunniest spot available, and well-draining soil. Avoid nitrogen-heavy fertilizer. That produces leaves, not fruit. The secret is hard winter pruning. Cut back aggressively every year, leaving just 2 or 3 main stems. It seems brutal, but it works. Are you still watching? If yes, kindly subscribe. This is our little way of knowing you enjoy videos like this. Let's continue. Number 15, papaya. Papaya starts fruiting within 9 to 12 months of planting, and then it just doesn't stop. It fruits continuously, not seasonally. One tree yields 30 to 150 fruits per year, depending on your climate. There's no off-season with papaya. How to plant it at home? Warmth is everything with this plant. Cold climates need a greenhouse or large sunny conservatory. Seeds go half an inch deep in well-draining compost. Feed monthly with balanced fertilizer. The fruit appears directly on the main trunk, not the branches, which always surprises people the first time they see it. Number 16, guava. 2 crops per year, 50 to 80 pounds of fruit total annually. Fruiting begins within 2 to 3 years. Guava is genuinely one of the most underrated backyard fruit trees in the world, and most people in temperate climates have never even considered growing it. To plant it at home, it needs sunny, sheltered position, well-draining soil, tolerates poor soil better than most fruit trees. In cooler climates, large pot plus frost protection. Prune after each harvest to push new fruiting growth. Feed in spring and midsummer. Number 17, Jostaberry. Most people have never heard of this one, and that's exactly why it's on this list. The Jostaberry is a cross between a blackcurrant and a gooseberry. It outproduces both parents at up to 15 pounds per bush, has 0 thorns, and is naturally disease-resistant. It's basically a better version of 2 already great plants. To plant it at home, you need full sun, rich, well-draining soil, 5 feet between plants, self-fertile so one bush works fine alone. Like its parents, it fruits on 2nd and 3rd year wood. Prune out the oldest, darkest branches in winter and keep the younger, lighter stems in winter. Number 18, Honeyberry. Here's something interesting. Honeyberry produces fruit 3 full weeks before any other garden fruit. It's the very first harvest of the year. 5 to 7 pounds per bush, and it survives temperatures down to minus 55 degrees Celsius. Where apple trees die, honeyberry thrives. To plant it at home, 2 or more varieties together is essential. Single plants produce very little. Full sun for best flavor, slightly acidic, well-draining soil, minimal pruning needed. Fruit appears on 1-year-old wood, so never remove all the new growth at once. Number 19, Suriname cherry. 2 crops per year, hundreds of small bright red fruits per plant. And here's the fascinating part. The more you prune it and harvest it, the more it produces. It actually responds to being cut back by fruiting even harder. To plant it at home, it needs full sun in warm climates. Cooler areas need a greenhouse pot. Tolerates a wide range of soils. Water regularly during fruit development. You can train it into a productive hedge that fruits along its entire length, one of the most space-efficient fruit plants available. Number 22, Serviceberry. The serviceberry is probably the most underplanted fruit tree in the world, and I genuinely can't explain why. Sweet, blueberry-flavored fruits in early summer, weeks before everything else, with yields of 7 to 15 pounds per tree. Fully cold-hardy, thrives exactly where apple trees struggle. To plant it at home, full sun to partial shade, moist, well-draining soil, tolerates clay better than most fruit trees, barely needs pruning, just remove dead or crossing branches in late winter, self-fertile so one tree produces beautifully on its own. Number 21, Natal plum. This one is remarkable because it flowers and fruits at the same time, continuously, all year round. There is genuinely no off-season. A mature Natal plum plant provides fresh fruit in every single month of the year without any exception. To plant it at home, it needs full sun, well-draining soil, extremely drought-tolerant once established, bring indoors in cold climates for winter. It has sharp thorns, so gloves when harvesting. The fruits taste like a sweet cranberry and the flowers smell incredible. Number 22, Loquat. Loquat fruits in late winter and early spring when almost nothing else in your entire garden is producing anything. 50 to 100 pounds of fruit from a mature tree, filling that hungry gap between your last stored autumn fruit and the first fresh summer harvest. It's the plant that feeds you when everything else is dormant. To plant it at home, find a sheltered, sunny position. Flowers can be nipped by hard frost, so protection helps. Well-draining soil, drought-tolerant once established, grows well in large containers. Thin the fruits when they're young to produce larger, better quality fruit at harvest. Number 23, White mulberry. Where the common mulberry fruits for a few weeks, the white mulberry variety fruits continuously for 6 to 8 weeks. One tree feeding your family generously for 2 full months with no storage, no preservation, no effort. Just walk outside and pick. To plant it at home, you can plant it in almost any soil, including poor and dry, but it needs full sun for sweetness. Harvest by laying a sheet underneath and gently shaking the branches. Ripe fruits fall immediately. Responds well to pruning and stays productive even when kept smaller than its natural size. Number 24, Dragon fruit. 20 to 60 large fruits per year, productive for 20 to 30 years, and it's technically a cactus, meaning it survives drought, neglect, and poor soil that would finish an apple tree completely. It's almost offensively easy to keep alive once established. To plant it at home, it needs a sturdy central post at least 5 feet tall to climb, well-draining sandy soil, full sun, water sparingly, genuinely less is more here. If growing indoors, hand-pollinate the night flowers with a small brush. Fruit appears 30 to 50 days after successful pollination. And we finish with probably the most fascinating plant on this entire list. The miracle berry produces small red fruits containing a protein called miraculin, which temporarily rewires your taste receptors, making everything sour taste sweet for up to 2 hours. Beyond that extraordinary property, it fruits continuously all year round in warm climates, making it one of the most consistently productive plants we've covered today. How to plant it at home? It needs acidic soil between 4.5 and 5.8, same as blueberries. Ericaceous compost in a pot works perfectly. Partial shade rather than harsh direct sun. Never let it fully dry out. Grows slowly, but once it finds its feet, it fruits reliably year after year for decades. And that's your 25. Every single one of them outproducing the apple in yield, in frequency, or honestly, in both. Pick whichever one suits your climate and your space and just start. That's genuinely all it takes. If you found something new today, subscribe, because we do this every single week. Forgotten plants, overlooked growers, things most people walk right past. We'll see you in the next one.